Hello, this is Sudarshana Starshine Star. I'm so glad that you're here with me. This is going to be the first clip that I make on my second YouTube channel, which is called It's the Dazzling of the Light. And you can reach that on YouTube at Sudarshana Starshine Star 99. So before I begin, I'd like to do the 3 opening prayers, which are the Guru Mantra, the Ganesha Mantra, and the Gayatri Mantra. So let's begin that. Om, 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 Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahmam, Tasmai Sri Guru Vena Namaha. Om Suklam Bharataram Vishnum Sishivarnam Chatubhujam Prasanavaranam Dhyaye Sarva Vigno Prashantaye. Om Bhur Bhuvasuvaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhago Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Naha Prachodayat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Today I'm going to be reading chapters 1 through 4 of an incredible divine script called the Devi Mahatmyam. It is very sacred. It is the will of the great Devi, the great Mother Divine herself, that her children, us, read this. It's especially auspicious to read or listen to the Devi Mahatmyam on Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, or during special times when we're really focusing on Mother Divine, as we are right now during Vasant Navaratri, which is the spring Navaratri, 9 nights of focusing and concentrating on and praising and communing with the different aspects of Mother Divine. So what I want to say about this Devi Mahatmyam is while it seems to be a recounting of battles of Mother Divine battling the Rakshasas or big demons, big devils of negativity, it is really much deeper than that. And you'll hear when you listen to it. What I advise is that you just relax and just open yourself to receive. This is really amazing, good, sacred medicine. The power of sound. The power of sound is immeasurable. And we're carrying negativity and negative karmas and things that are literally bedeviling us. They're in our, on our soul, in our mind, keeping our heart closed, making our experience of ourself and life and the divine more difficult. So as we listen to this, the purpose of this is to receive that amazing good medicine from our mother, from our divine mother, the mother of us all, the creator of everything in all universes, in all the cosmos, in every creature. She is the creator, as Father Divine is the consciousness in everything. And she is actually the creator of anything that comes from the formlessness into the form. So as we listen to this, we offer up. We don't have to try hard. This work will do the work of listening to this work, I promise you. It's really amazing when we have such divine tools that are not that difficult to utilize, and this is one of them. As we listen, we might feel some discomfort or some changes or something in our body as we first begin to listen. I know I did when I first began to listen to this, and I was surprised by that. I thought, wow. I had a little bit of a stomach ache. I was getting a little bit of a headache, and then it dissolved as I was listening to the further chapters of the Devi Mahatmyam. So just don't be alarmed by that. If you feel something a little coming up, won't be extreme, I don't think, and it will pass. But that's like a really good sign. It's like something purging from you, something that you didn't need to hold on to, something that was blocking you, stopping you, hindering you, literally sometimes bedeviling you. So know that's what this is. Okay, so like I said, this clip is going to be chapters 1 through 4, and I do like to do handheld, and I know this is going to be a wiggling camera, but just bear with me and just receive all the good and all the wonderful from listening to chapters 1 through 4 of the Devi Mahatmyam. I'm going to read on the back so you understand a little bit more about what this little book is about. As you read this Devi Mahatmyam, you will feel the joy, the power, and the wonder of the Divine Mother. At its simplest level, the Devi Mahatmyam is the battle between good and evil. But on that battlefield, the majesty of the Mother Goddess should not be underestimated. She does not wage wars with the aid of grand armies or divine allies. She alone is the source and the strength. In a new translation of the sacred text, Lyndall Vercoe offers a direct and devotional rendering. This is not just a description of divine power. It is a worship and a praise of God as the mother of the universe. When you are called to mind in difficult times, you remove terror from all creatures. When remembered by the self-aware, you bestow enlightenment. Who beside you dare to dispel poverty, grief, and fear? Who else is always kind-hearted to everyone? You destroy the unrighteous to bring happiness to the world. When this story is told, then both those who sing it and those who listen with devotion, to them no trouble shall come, nor any calamities from wrongdoing, nor poverty, nor separation from loved ones. They shall not experience fear from enemies, from robbers or rulers, from fire or flood, or any weapon. Therefore, this poem of my majesty must be recited and listened to with full attention and sincere devotion, for it is the supreme source of blessings. And let me really purify this with this beautiful bell. Chapter 1. You create all that exists. That noble king Surita had ruled over his prosperous land like a benevolent father until a conspiracy of jealous kings had attacked his kingdom and reduced it to a single city. Even there, he had been undermined by treacherous ministers. He had escaped assassination, pretending he was going hunting. He had ridden away into the forest wilderness until he found refuge in this peaceful ashram of the Rishi Medas. King Surata was so full of grief, he could not rest. One day, as he wandered, unseeing among the gardens and trees, he discovered another man sitting by the path. This richly dressed man looked despondent. The king asked the stranger tenderly, "Who are you, sir? I feel that you have a heavy heart. What brings you here to this quiet place?" The merchant stood up. He bowed and thanked the king for his kind attention as he introduced himself. His name was Samadhi. They sat together and told each other of their losses. The merchant had been cruelly thrown out of his own home by a disloyal wife and greedy sons. "But, O king, I cannot stop worrying about their welfare. I love them all and fear for their souls that they should have acted so wickedly." The king's voice was gentle and soothing. "It seems strange, don't you feel, that you grieve and worry for these people when they have been so unfeeling towards you?" The merchant responded, "O king, even as you were speaking, the same thought occurred to me. I wonder what binds us so deeply to our fates when we are helpless to alter these situations." "Since our fates have brought us here," the king said, "let us seek the advice of the great Rishi Medas on that matter." They rose together, and with purposeful steps, they approached the Rishi's dwelling place. The king and the merchant each bowed respectfully to touch the feet of the ancient sage Medas. He gestured invitingly. When they were seated, his kind eyes looked inquiringly, and the king spoke for both of them, saying, "Beloved teacher, I just want to know one thing. This problem obsesses my mind, but my intellect cannot resolve it. I am still obsessed about my kingdom and all the business of rulership. I know this is foolish, yet I cannot help behaving like an ignorant person. Why is this, O best of Munis?" And here too is this man thrown out by his household as worthless, yet he still feels such affection towards them. So we are both very unhappy, our minds always drawn by self-centered thoughts to these matters, even though we see it as foolishness. How can we be so deluded and yet still aware of that? How can we both be so lacking in discrimination that we indulge in this state of despair? The Rishi said, "The understanding of all creatures is relative to their field of perception. Some are blind by day and some by night. All are limited. Mankind is certainly not any more aware than the deer, the birds, or others. All creatures are compassionate beings. O king, as you sit mourning, can't you see the birds busy feeding their young, although they themselves are hungry? Just like you, they are bound to their offspring, expecting loyalty in return. This delusion is the power of Mahamaya, which binds all creatures throughout their lives. This illusion makes them believe their existence is permanent. This power is the great goddess, the Devi, who actually sustains all beings, both those that move and those which do not. She even causes the contemplative sleep of Lord Vishnu at the end of the Golden Age. She, the adorable goddess, is truly called Mahamaya, the great illusion. By her, this whole universe is created. When she is pleased, she blesses mankind and brings them to their final emancipation. She is the knowledge supreme. She is the eternal cause of ultimate liberation, as well as the cause of the bondage of this worldly existence. Why then should you be amazed that she can hurl all creatures into delusion? She is the supreme knowledge. She is the sovereign of all gods." Excuse me for a moment. The king said, "Respected sir, who is that Devi you call Mahamaya? How did she come into being? How was she born? What is her nature? That one who is mightier than the gods, what form does she take? O great sage, tell me everything. I wish to hear everything about her origins." The Rishi said, "This whole universe is the embodiment of her. By her it was stretched forth, and she pervades it all. She is eternal. Listen, I will tell you of the many times she manifests to fulfill the desire of the gods. At these times, she appears to come into the world, although she is in fact eternal. At the end of the Golden Age, when the adorable, splendid Lord Vishnu reclines on his beloved serpent couch, Shesha, she actually becomes his divine sleep. Therefore, she is called Yoga Nidra. While Lord Vishnu was sleeping, two terrible asuras, the infamous Madhu and Kaitaba, hid in his ears and sprang out to kill Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma, the father of all, was seated in the lotus of sleeping Vishnu's navel. As he watched those two ferocious asuras, he prayed to Yoga Nidra, she who is highest in the heart of Vishnu. He desired her to awaken Hari and to open his eyes. The glorious Lord Brahma praised her as the creator, sustainer, and destroyer, as the ruler of all, as the cause of sleep, and as the unequaled, adored consort of Vishnu. Thus Lord Brahma said, "O you who are the invocations Svaha, Svadha, and Vashatkara, you are truly the embodiment of the very sacrifice itself. You are the imperishable divine nectar which sustains the gods. Your form is eternally 3 measures and half a measure, continual, uninterrupted, and unchangeable. You are the ancient Savitri, him, and the supreme mother of the Devas. By you this world is sustained. By you it is protected. By you it is hurled to destruction, and in the end it is consumed by you. You create all that exists. You reside in everything that exists. You protect everything which you have brought into existence. The whole of creation is yours. It is your whim. You are the supreme knowledge and also the great illusion. You are also the highest contemplation and the complete recollection. You are the awful terror and the supreme blessing. You are the great Devi as well as the great Asuri. O you who are the primordial force, creating everything, you manifest yourself as the three gunas. You are the dark night of periodic dissolution. You are the great night of final dissolution, and you are the terrible night of delusion. You are the goddess of auspiciousness. You are the ruler. You are joy and gladness. You are intelligence and the highest consciousness. You are bashfulness, prosperity, contentment, tranquility, and forgiveness. You wield the sword, club, discus, conch, bow, and arrows, and the iron mace. You are the exceedingly beautiful and terrifying conqueror. You are gentle and moon-like, as well as the precise annihilator. Terrible and beautiful, cool and moist, transcending highest and lowest, you are indeed the supreme Ishvari. O Devi, how can I praise you? Wherever anything exists, an inseparable part of its soul is that which empowers. That power is yourself. O Devi, how can I praise you? By you indeed, even he who creates and protects all the worlds, even he who is sovereign of all things that move, even he of the highest nobility, by you has been put to sleep. Even the very forms which Shiva, Vishnu, and myself assume, even these are your creation. Who then can praise you who are the power of us all? We all entreat you now, O Devi, use your immense powers, bewitch these two unassailable asuras, Madhu and Kaitava. Then the rishi said, This is how the dark goddess was praised and invoked by Lord Brahma to awaken Lord Vishnu so that he would slay Madhu and Kaitava. Then, in the sight of Lord Brahma of inscrutable birth, the Devi withdrew herself from Lord Vishnu's eyes, nose, and limbs, and emerged from his innermost heart and breast. She arose to stand detached from Janardana, the world protector, as he lay on his ocean serpent. So then Lord Vishnu woke up to see those two audacious asuras standing there. He looked at those two evil, greedy asuras, their eyes all red with anger, as they boldly prepared to attack and kill Lord Brahma. Then adorable Lord Hari became warlike. He arose, grasped them with his immense arms, and wrestled with them for 1,000 years. Although they were extremely powerful, eventually Madhu and Kaitaba became confused. Deluded as they were by Mahamaya, they said to the long-haired god, Ask a boon from us. To which the Lord replied, There is only one choice to be made. You may both be slain here by me today. They looked around and saw the whole world covered in water. And in their delusion, they asked the lotus-eyed god to slay them on a place not covered by water. So be it, said the Lord, who wields the conch, the discus, and the mace. Then he held both of them on his hip and cut off their heads with his discus. This is what happened when she, who is the self-created cause of everything, arose as she was praised and invoked by Lord Brahma. Listen, I will tell you more of her achievements. Chapter 2, The Power of the Devi. The Rishi said, Once upon a time, when Mahishasura was lord of the Asuras and Indra was lord of the Devas, they fought a war for 100 years until the Asuras won. Then Mahishasura took Indra's place as lord of the heavens. The defeated Devas, led by Brahma, approached Shiva and Vishnu. There were 30 gods, including Surya, Indra, Agni, Anila, Vayu, Chandrama, Varuna, and Yama. They all described in detail how the evil Mahishasura had thrown them out of heaven. He had taken their rightful places, forcing them to wander the earth like mortals. The immortals asked the Lord Shiva and Vishnu to protect them from the wicked conduct of their enemies. As they heard the Deva's story, Vishnu and Shiva became furious. Heavy frowns bent their brows. Then that anger burst forth as a great light from Brahma, from Shiva, and from all the other lords and Devas. From Vishnu and from Indra too, from each of them a powerful light glowed. Then this great energy, which came from the assembled gods, merged and became one extremely bright light. Like a blazing mountain peak, that light spread across the sky, illuminating the 10 directions. That combined light from the Devas manifested in the form of a woman whose splendor filled the 3 worlds. The light from unconquerable Lord Shiva became her face. From the light of Yama, her hair came. From Vishnu's light, her arms. By Soma's light, her breasts. Her waist by Indra's light. By Varuna's light, her legs. And by earth, her buttocks and hips. From Brahma's light came her feet. And by the sun, her toes were made. The Vasu's light became her fingers. And Kubera's light, her nose. Prajapati's light became her teeth, and her 3 eyes came from the light of Narayana. Her womb came from Agni's light, and the 2 Sandhyas gave her eyebrows. Her ears came from the light of Vayu. So it was that from these lights of so many Devas, the auspicious Devi became visible. Then, as they gazed at her, those gods who had been so oppressed were suddenly filled with joy. From his trident, Pinaka, Lord Shiva then drew forth and presented her trident. Lord Krishna gave a discus, which he brought forth from his own discus. Varuna presented a conch, and Agni gave a spear. Indra gave a thunderbolt drawn from his own thunderbolt. The Marutas presented her bow and arrows, while Indra drew her bell from his elephant's bell. From his staff, Lord Yama drew her staff. The Lord of the Oceans gave her a noose. Her necklace and water pot came from Lord Brahma. Surya's rays illumined the pores of her skin. Kala, the Lord of Time, bestowed a pure shield and a shining sword. The milk ocean brought her a necklace of the finest pearl, 2 everlasting robes, a glorious jeweled crown and earrings, bracelets for her upper arms and forearms, pure anklets, and a fabulous necklace. Jeweled rings covered all her fingers, and a crescent moon adorned her hair. Vishvakarma gave her many missiles, a pure axe and impenetrable armor. From the ocean came garlands of unfading lotus flowers to adorn her head and breast, and a lotus to carry in her hand. The mountain Himavat adorned her with jewels, and gave her a lion to ride. Kubera, the Lord of Wealth, gave her a divine cup, filled with ambrosia, which can never be emptied. Her jeweled serpent necklace was given her by Shesha, the Lord of Serpents, who balances the 3 worlds. The other gods also adorned her and gave more armaments. Then the Devi laughed again and again, such long, high, terrifying peals of laughter, so loud, so unrestrained, that it caused the earth and sky and all of the waters to tremble. Every part of the world and its oceans shook with agitation at that roaring sound. The gods were filled with gladness, and they shouted, "Victory to her, the lion rider!" All the sages also praised her, bowing in devotion. Alarmed at such total commotion in the 3 worlds, all the wicked asuras rushed out brandishing their weapons. "Ha! What is this?" shouted the enraged Mahishasura. Then, as the asuras all charged toward that terrifying challenge of the Devi, Mahishasura saw her standing there, her splendor pervading the 3 worlds, her footsteps causing the earth to bend, her crown engraving its mark on the heavens. The twang of her bowstring agitated all of the corners of hell. Her 1,000 arms filled the 4 quarters. She is all-pervading. Thus she commenced her battle with those enemies of the gods. Swords and daggers clashed and whirled. So many missiles were discharged, the whole sky was ablaze. There were 4 great divisions of Mahishasura's armies. They were led by the generals Chiksura and Chamara, with their myriads of chariots. Udagra brought his 60,000 chariots. Mahahanu had 10 million chariots. Asiloma brought 15 million to battle. Bashkala had 6 million. Ugra Darshana and Parivaritra and Parivarita came with thousands of elephants and horses and 10 million chariots to fight. Bidala also fought surrounded by 5,000 crores of chariots, and many, many more asuras came with tusked elephants and fiery steeds to fight with the Devi in that battle. Then Mahishasura, surrounded by thousands of crores of horses, chariots, and elephants, using javelins and cleavers, staves and maces and spears, commenced to battle with the Devi. They hurled nooses and clubs at her. Some attacked her with swords, but she easily snared their arrows and missiles with her noose. Extending her many arms, she playfully amused herself. With her sword and discus, she severed their weapons effortlessly, while she showered them with arrows. All the gods and sages watched and sang her praises, as the weapons of the Devi pierced the bodies of the asuras, sending them crazy with pain. She rode her angry lion. He shook his mane as he stalked among the armies of asuras. They fell like trees in a forest fire. Delighted, Ambika loosed sighs of satisfaction in the battle. Each breath instantly created hundreds and thousands of ganas who arose to join her in the battle, wreaking destruction on the enemy with their axes and halberds and tridents. Her ganas were filled with energy by the power of the Devi. They blew conches, while some played mindragams and tambours. It now became a mighty martial festival. The Devi killed asuras by the hundreds with showers of spears, as well as with her trident, her club, and her sword. Hundreds more were thrown down, stunned by the sound of her bell. Some were bound by her noose and dragged to the ground. Some she split into 2 with her sword. Some lay on the ground crushed by her mace. Her club hammered others so severely they vomited blood. Some fell to the ground, pierced in the breast by her trident. Her arrows fell like torrents on those enemies of the Devas. In such dense masses they were quickly slaughtered, quickly cut to pieces. The arms of some were severed, necks were broken. Some were torn in half, heads rolled on the ground. Some great asuras fell as their legs were cut off. Others were cut clean down the middle by her sword. Some fell and rose again, headless, trunks, still fighting, swords in hand, dancing to the rhythm of the drums and trumpets. Then some asuras shouted, "Stop! Stop!" at the Devi. Soon the earth was thickly covered with an impassable tangle, a mass of elephants, horses, asuras, and broken chariots. Rivers of blood flowed among them. Ambika destroyed the whole army as quickly as fire destroys wood and straw. Her lion roared as he stalked among them, shaking his mane and seeking the few still breathing. And the Devas, watching the triumph of the Devi, showered her with flowers in their gratitude. Chapter 3. The Supreme Goddess. Seeing the mother Ambika slay that whole army, the enraged Asura general Chiksura advanced. He rained arrows on her like clouds of rain on Mount Meru. He cut his masses of arrows easily with her own arrows, killed his horses and charioteer, split his bow and his tall banner, and pierced his limbs even as they held his shattered bow. He snatched up his sword and shield and rushed at her, striking the lion on the head and slashing at her left arm. "O king, that sword disintegrated when it touched her arm." So he grasped his pike, red-eyed with rage. He flung it at her. Bhadrakali, the great Devi, saw that pike coming at her like a blazing comet. She hurled her pike and shattered his to fragments, and the demon with it. When that mighty general was slain, another general, Chamara, charged upon his elephant. He hurled his spear at Ambika, who gave a disparaging hoot and struck it down lustreless. Seeing his broken spear fall, Chamara angrily flung a pike at her. She split it with arrows. Then the lion leapt onto the forehead of the elephant and attacked that demon Chamara. They both fought. Fearlessly as they fell from the elephant. Then the lion sprang up to the sky and came down, severing Chamara's head with a blow of his paw. Udagra was killed in the battle by the Devi, using stones and trees and other missiles. And Karala she killed with her teeth, fists, and palms. And the angry goddess ground Udatta to powder with blows of her club. Bashkala she killed with a dart, and Tamra and Andaka with arrows. The supreme three-eyed goddess slew Ugrasya and Ugravirya and Mahahanu, all with her trident. With her sword she struck Vidala's head clean from his body. Durdara and Durmukha she sent to Yama's abode with her arrows. Now, as his army was being utterly destroyed, the Asura Mahisha assumed his buffalo form and attacked the troops of the Devi, terrifying them. Some he attacked with blows of his muzzle. Others he stamped with his hooves. Some were lashed by his tail, and some slashed by his horns. Some he laid low on the face of the earth by the impetuous rush of his onslaught. Some were blasted by his breath, or his bellowing, or his wheeling career. Having laid low her army, Mahishasura rushed to attack the Devi's lion. This enraged Ambika. Mahishasura was fearless. He pounded the surface of the earth with his hooves. In his rage, he tossed the mountains aloft with his horns, and he bellowed. Crushed by his impetuous wheeling, the earth crumbled to pieces. The sea, lashed by his tail, overflowed in every direction. Clouds, pierced by his swaying horns, were rent to fragments. Hundreds of mountains rained down from the sky, cast up by the blast of his breath. Seeing the great Asura swollen with rage as he rushed on, Chandika let loose her fury in order to slay him. She flung her noose and bound him fast. Then, as he was bound, he suddenly stopped being a buffalo and became a lion. While Ambika beheaded that lion, Mahishasura emerged as a man with a sword. Swiftly, her arrows pierced the man and his sword and his shield. Then he changed into a huge elephant and roared as he grabbed her lion with his trunk. But, as he pulled, she severed that trunk with her sword. Again he became a buffalo, shaking everything in the three worlds. The mother Chandika became really angry. Her eyes grew red, and she laughed as she quaffed her divine drink again and again. He was puffed up with his frenzy and strength, and hurled mountains against Chandika with his horns as he roared. With showers of arrows, she shivered those mountains to atoms. Her face flushed as she drank, tersely saying, "Roar, roar on for a brief moment, O you fool, until I finish my nectar. Soon the gods will be roaring right here when you are slain by me." The Rishi said. As she spoke, she leapt up and landed on that Asura, pinning him down by her foot on his neck. She speared him. Caught by her foot, Mahishasura's real form began to emerge from his buffalo mouth. Chandika then struck off his head with her great sword. Then all his demonic army was destroyed, wailing with fear, while the gods rose up in joyous exultation. The gods and rishis praised the Devi, while the Gandharva chiefs sang and Apsaras danced for joy. Chapter 4. Peerless Majesty. The Rishi said, when that ferocious evil army had been destroyed by the goddess, Indra and the host of Devas bowed reverently. Their bodies glowed. Their hair bristled with excitement as they praised her. We bow to the goddess Ambika, whose body expresses the collective power of the host of gods. To her who evolved the whole world by her power. She who is all-pervading, may she bless us with auspiciousness. She is Chandika, whose peerless majesty and strength cannot even be described by the adorable lords Brahma, Shiva, and Vishnu. May she protect the entire cosmos and turn her mind to the destruction of grief and fear. O Devi, we bow to you, who abide in the houses of virtuous people in the form of Shri, the goddess of prosperity. In the houses of the wicked, you are the goddess Alakshmi, causing destitution. You are intelligence in the hearts of the wise, faith in the hearts of the true, and modesty in noble souls. O goddess, protect the universe. O Devi, your form transcends the mind. How can we describe you? How can we speak of your great might in destroying demons? How can we tell of your skill in the battles when you overwhelm the enemies of the gods? You are the cause of all worlds. The three gunas have their origin in you, but you have none of their defects. Even Shiva, Vishnu, and others cannot comprehend you. All beings come to you for refuge. This whole world is formed from an infinitesimal portion of yourself. Verily, you are the sublime primordial nature, which can never change. O Devi, your complete divinity is expressed as Svaha, giving satisfaction to all the gods in the sacrificial fires. You are also the Svadha, who satisfies the ancestral beings. Therefore, people chant you as Svaha and Svadha in ceremonies. You are the one who gives final liberation by performing great and inconceivable penances. You are the power which enables seers desiring moksha to restrain their senses and be cleansed of impurities. You are the soul of sound. You are the vessel which contains the pure rig and yajur and sama hymns, whose chanting is adorned by the Om. You are Bhagavati, the adorable one, embodying the Vedas. You are the sustenance of all living things. You are the supreme destroyer of the suffering of all the worlds. You are wisdom by which the essence of the scriptures may be understood. You are Durga, the boat that takes mankind across the ocean of worldly illusion. You have no desires. You are Shri, who abides in the heart of Vishnu, the enemy of the demon Kaitaba. You are Gauri, the giver of light and truth, who has fixed her dwelling in Shiva, who wears the moon on his forehead. Your lovely face was gently smiling, pure, like the rays of the full moon, beautiful, like the splendor of finest gold. It is utterly astonishing that after seeing your beauty, Mahishasura struck at your face in anger. And how strange, O Devi, that when he saw your face grow angry with terrible frowns and rosy as the rising moon, Mahishasura did not instantly drop dead, for who can survive the sight of the enraged destroyer? O Devi, be pleased with us. You are the supreme mother of all life. When angered, you instantly destroy the Asura families for the welfare of the world. We saw this when the vast army of Mahishasura was brought to its end. You always prosper those who are pleasing to you. They are esteemed by others. They become prosperous and famous, and their good deeds never cease. Their households are extensive, contented, and loving. By your grace, O Devi, the blessed ones daily perform righteous actions with devotion, and by this they attain heaven. O Goddess, you are definitely the only giver of the fruits of action in the three worlds. O Durga, when you are called to mind in difficult times, you remove terror from all creatures. When remembered by the self-aware, you bestow deeper enlightenment. Who beside you dares to dispel poverty, grief, and fear? Who else is always kind-hearted to everyone? You destroy the unrighteous to bring happiness to the world, O Devi. And although their wickedness should keep the Asuras in hell for ages, yet you think of their welfare by killing them in battle, that they may reach heaven. You kill the enemies of the gods with weapons, rather than burning them to ashes with your gaze. By your weapon's touch, even the wickedest may be purified and ascend. Such kindness you show them. Only by watching your face, which resembles the cooling light of the moon. Only this protected the eyes of the Asuras from the piercing flash of your sword or spear point. O Goddess, your disposition subdues the conduct of the wicked. This beautiful nature of yours is incomparable and beyond thought. Your supreme power destroys those who challenge the valor of the gods, yet you have shown such compassion even to those enemies. Your prowess is beyond compare. Who else can be found? Where else can be found such beauty which strikes terror in the enemies? In all the three worlds, only in you are found such a compassionate heart and invincible battle skill, O Devi, bestower of boons. You have saved the three worlds by destroying the enemies. Killing them in battle, you have led them to heaven. You have vanquished our fear of the frenzied demons. We bow in reverence to you. O great Devi, protect us with your spear. O Ambika, protect us with your sword, by the sound of your bell, by the twang of your bowstring. O Chandika, guard us in all four directions with your spear. O Ishvari, protect us and this earth with those kindly gentle forms, as well as with those extremely terrifying forms with which you move about in the three worlds. O Ambika, guard us on every side with your sword, spear, mace, and whatever weapons your tender hands hold. The Rishi said, This praise was offered to the supporter of the worlds as they worshipped her with offerings of celestial flowers from Nandana and with perfumes and precious ointment, and all of them offered heavenly incense with deep devotion. Smiling sweetly, the Devi spoke to the prostrate gods. Your hymns of praise are so beautiful. Whatever you may ask, I will be pleased to do. The gods said, O great goddess, since you have slain our enemy Mahishasura, nothing remains to be done. Yet we pray that whenever we think of you, you will remove our difficulties at that time. O Mother of purest countenance, any mortal who praises you with these hymns, may you bless him with prosperity, O Ambika, as you have blessed us. The Rishi said, O King, after the gods appealed to her for the sake of the world and themselves, Bhadrakali replied, So it will be, and vanished. So now, O King, I have told you about the Devi who desires the prosperity of the three worlds, how she manifests from the bodies of the gods long, long ago. Listen again. I will tell you. As she came, as Gauri, to slay the wicked demons Shumba and Nishumba for the protection of the three worlds. I will tell you exactly what happened. And that is the end of the 4 chapters in this clip. Please excuse my wobbling camera, and sometimes it was a little hard to find my place in the reading, those little pauses, but maybe they were opportunities just to let the power of this sacred medicine sink in. So I thank you so much for staying with me through the end of this clip. If you like this content, please remember to like and subscribe to this channel and to share. I really appreciate you sharing your energy with me and making that happen. It really helps me and I really love it. So let's end with the closing prayer. Om, 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 Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu, Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu, Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. What that closing prayer is saying is to bless all beings in all worlds. And I say God bless you and all of yours, all of your beloveds, now and forever. Thank you so much. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye for now.